Hello, my name is Kirsty. Welcome to Kirsty Knits and Sews. This is a very special episode where I am introducing a new make-along that we're running here, a Christmas in July Christmas in July-ish gift along. So welcome back. I'm very excited to share with you all the information about this and to share with you some of my plans. And I use the word plans very loosely because more like hopeful dreams of what I may or may not get accomplished in the next 2 months. So first of all, what is the Christmas in July-ish gift along? The Christmas in July-ish gift along is a make along that is running from the beginning of July, 1st of July 2025 to the end of August, 31st of August 2025. So it is a 2-month make along. Now, this make along can involve knitting, sewing, crocheting, any kind of craft. If you're making it, it counts. I have written down socks, knitting, sewing, cross stitch, crochet, and then another little separate Christmas, which is not even a gift. It's just something that's Christmas themed. So what is eligible? Any of the crafts, any of the things that you are making are eligible. Whips are allowed. You don't have to finish. You can make part of a jumper and then that can be all you've done, not finishing it, and that still counts. You've still been part of the make along or the gift along. Things that are either Christmas themed or gifts count. So if you are making an advent for yourself, like a mitten garland is one of the things I would love to do, then that counts. It's Christmas themed. If you are making a pair of, black socks, I don't know who would make just straight black socks, but if you're making a pair of black socks for a gift, that counts. For me, I have a lot of family who live overseas. In fact, all of my family lives overseas. So I will be making gifts for them. And I'm going to include gifts that are for January birthdays, October birthdays, anything that I'm shipping in the Christmas boxes that is a gift, I am counting. So pretty relaxed rules. If you're making it for a gift, honestly, even if their birthday is like in July and you're wanting to make them a gift, throw it in, that counts. So is it Christmas themed? Is it a gift? Join in the make along. Yeah, is that clear enough, simple enough? It'll be 2 months. I will have, by the time this goes up, I will have chatter threads and finished object threads on our Ravelry page, group page. So you can go over there, let us know what you're planning to make in the chatter thread. When you finish something, post a photo in the finished object thread. I don't know how you do that if it's not, if you don't have a project page, but honestly, what I would probably do is just make a project page saying Christmas gift along or whatever, and then you can add, if you have cross stitches or whatever, you can just add it to that project page and that will let you upload it without having all the fancy offline uploading stuff. In Ravelry, I only ever add photos if I've got a project page for it. And for me, that's the easiest. If you have another way you do it and you're happy with it, keep going with that. But if you're not sure, just make a project page and add any photos of anything, whether it's knitting or not, and you can link that over to the group. I will draw prizes probably beginning of September and get them sent out in September from those chatter threads on Ravelry. But as always, if you have ideas or you want to chat about stuff, write it down here. I do respond to YouTube quicker than I do to Ravelry. So yeah, questions, chatter down here is also more than welcome. All right, I have so many plans. I counted them up yesterday and there were 35 things that I wanted to make, and then I went to bed and thought about it and thought of another thing. So let's say we've got 36 things that I would love to make. In a 2-month knit along, that is more than one every 2 days. That's not going to happen. I know that. I know that's ridiculous. But I wrote them all down because these are the things that I would like to get done by Christmas, and some of them that I would like to get done by September or October. So what I have not done yet is I haven't done the breakdown of where are my priorities, what am I starting with. I've got another week for that. I will say, I'm recording this on the 25th of June. It will go up either on the 30th or the 1st. By the time you're watching this, you'll know when it's gone up and you'll be watching it. but I am recording this in advance because this is what works for me with timing. So I have a bit of time to do the planning, but I'm going to walk you through what I'm planning to make. There are some things I've already started that I will continue to work on. Maybe they'll be finished before July 1st, unlikely, or maybe they will be finishes during the make along. One of them is a jumper. Maybe that will be finished much closer to Christmas. But I'm going to walk you through. I have socks. I have knitting that is not socks. I have sewing. I have cross stitch. I have crochet. And I have a little tiny category called Christmas, which are the Christmas themed things that I would like to make that aren't gifts. And I put that there because it is a Christmas in July-ish make along, gift along, and I'm totally okay with that. But I also realize as I've counted up everything else that I am unlikely to be casting on something for me during this because I have so many gifts that I want to make for other people. So I've put it there as kind of an outlier. Maybe it might happen. The other thing is I do have a whole lot of other Christmas stitcheries, cross stitches, things that I haven't put on here that I kind of want to. But again, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get that done for this make along. And I don't think I'm even going to start because I have other cross stitches that I would like to get done for Christmas. So we'll see. I'm also going to put a proviso out here. If you are a family member of mine, proceed at your own peril. I will talk about some things in kind of couched terms, some things people have requested, and so you obviously know if you've requested something that that's probably something that I'm going to be making you. But if you don't want to know design plans or specific colours or something, when I start saying, hey, I'm making this for so-and-so, and you hear your name, just skip forward a little bit. Or just don't watch it all. Family, that's your other option. Sorry. All right, let's get going. I will try and give you like warnings if I'm about to talk about something for you. And I might leave a couple of things for later and come back to a special like family switch off, because I know who of my family actually watches this as a regular thing. All right, so to start with, I have like so much here that I can't even pick it all up. I have a basket of yarn that I tried to pick up yesterday, put it all together, and it overflowed the basket. So I'll go through, see how we go. Let's start with socks. Socks are something that I learnt to make a few years ago, and I have many, many members of my family who love the hand knit socks. And I keep thinking, surely they're sick of getting socks by now and I can make other things or I can do other things. And yes, some people are harder to buy for or make for, and so it's nice to have socks to go back to. But also, when I ask people and say, what would you like? I often hear again, well, I always love socks, or I don't have many socks, or my socks are wearing out, or something. And so I'm like, all right, you really love the socks. So I have socks on my list, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 14 pairs of socks on my list. And there is a chance that I will add another 2 pairs to that. And I say a chance because I recognize that 14 pairs of socks before Christmas at this point is insane, let alone before the end of August. Like, I can't knit that quickly. But I've put them all down and I'm working on them. So the first thing is I have Christmas socks. So these ones are both Christmas themed and Christmas gifts. So I have this wool, which is Christmas sock wool glitter. It's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and 73% wool, 25 polyamide, 2% polyester, which I think is the sparkle in there. This one I've clearly started something and then frogged. I have made socks with this for, I think I made some with this for my husband, my son previously, and I've held it double to make socks for other people. I've pulled this one out. I have quite a few sock Christmas yarns because I love Christmas sock yarn. But I thought I would pull this one out as an example of what I will be using, not necessarily this exact one. And my plan is to make socks for my immediate family for Christmas, to go in our stockings, because I always like to include socks in the stockings. And I thought matching Christmas socks would be a really fun way to do that. I need to figure out, I think I have some 6-ply yarn, so thicker sock yarn, that I will do for my husband and maybe for me, because we wear socks around the house just as slippers or whatever all the time. For my kids, I think I will use this, which is a 4-ply. So I need to figure out the logistics of that, but yes. And I always hesitate with kids because they grow so quickly. So if I make them now, then I have to make them big enough that they'll fit at Christmas time. But honestly, the ones that I made my son last Christmas, I overshot so much that they fit nicely now in the middle of summer. So I need to figure that out. The ones, last pair I made my daughter were way too small. Kids socks, I tell you what. So I will figure it out. I will make Christmas socks, and also for the kids. They're small, so that's not going to take long to do socks for the kids. All right, that is 4. Oh no, I did write it down. Okay, that's 4. I was like, did I not put my husband's socks there? I did decide to make him a pair. So yes, that is 4 of the 14 that I'm planning to make Christmas socks. Another one that I'm planning to make, which I've already made, which this was already a spoiler in the last podcast. So Dad, if you're watching, you get a spoiler twice. Scrappy DK socks. Yes, I've started. I'm on to the second sock, but this is a Christmas gift. And like I said, whips are allowed. So this is there ready to go come July 1st. I may still work on it in the next few days, but yeah, I probably won't finish it. So that is definitely there. The other one that I have going, which is a sock for a Christmas gift, is this one, which is a Rhinebeck's Roomies pattern. It's opal Vincent yarn, so it's done based on a Vincent van Gogh painting, and this particular painting is Starry Night. So that one is the first sock. I've started it. Definitely not going to be finished, the pair, in the next few days. So that is another one of my 14 socks for Christmas. Now, where are we? Family members, skip ahead a few minutes if you don't want to have more spoilers. But I did get more Vincent sock yarn. So I got a restaurant on the Serene in Asnieres. Das Restaurant de la Serena in Asnieres. Probably butchering that, but that is the painting and the yarn. I have these yarns. I haven't decided exactly who is getting what, but I bought them at the same time. This is, again, like the title is there, but I can't read it. But it's of a chair. Then we have this one, which is sunflowers. And this one, which is the Broek von Tricentali. I don't know. Ignore my pronunciation. But they're all Vincent yarns. And so I have people in my family that I'm making these for. That is another 4 pairs of socks in my list. Yeah, so that is more socks. Then I have 2 more. Where am I up to? 4 more. So there are 4 more that I have. This is one of them, which I did show a square in my Cozy Memories blanket out of this yarn in my podcast a couple of days ago. This is Dying Dream. Here we go. Dying Dream, a Australian. She lives in Australia. I think she's from Germany. This is a 75-25 Australian merino and nylon. Very, very bright. Love her yarn. So this one is another sock for a Christmas present. And then I have this one. So there are some people who prefer DK. Not going to say names. People who prefer DK. And so for this one, I thought I would hold these two together. Both are fingering weight. This one I dyed myself, and this one my son dyed with food dye. And so I'm going to hold them together to give an overall purple yarn, but with bits of blue and red in it as DK. I don't have enough of this to just hold double by itself. I do have enough of this, and I should have enough for the entire sock, but I thought I'm going to do it, both of them, just to make sure. I may end up doing the heels and toe double just in the purple, but maybe not. We'll see. So that is going to be a DK sock, and then I have one more pair of DK socks that I don't have yarn for. And by that I mean I have yarn, I just haven't decided what yarn I will be using for that in particular. So yeah, they are the socks. There is one other sock that I'm planning, or pair of socks that I'm planning to make. They are both started, but I didn't bring them out. They are my Stardew Valley socks. So Stardew Valley is a computer game, and there are patterns for spring, autumn, winter and summer that go along with the design and the graphic of the game. I started the spring ones probably almost a year ago, and I have not finished them. I'm through what I think is the hardest part of the pattern, because it's not the regular things, like it's clouds and, you know, bigger shapes, and I've used like ladderback jacquard and all these other things to try and make it work. And I think I'm through the hardest part and into like the more repetitive things, but it's kind of in my too hard basket. So I'm going to get them out in July, work on them, see if I can make some good progress and get them finished, because I really want to gift them for Christmas this year. All right, that is all of the socks. That's 14 pairs of socks. And yes, one of them is half done, one of them's a quarter done, two of them are started. But yeah, that's a lot of socks. Moving on to other things. I'm also planning to do some other knitted projects. My dad has specifically requested a Moby neck, which is a pattern by Petite Knit. She has a Moby jumper or sweater, which is an all-over cable jumper. And then she has a Moby neck, which has the same pattern as the sweater, but it's just a turtleneck, golf here in Poland, with kind of this much done. So you can wear it under a jacket, and it gives you extra warmth for your chest, covers your neck, but you don't have the bulk in the sleeves and all of that. Now, my dad is an artist. He is a phenomenal artist. He paints trees, and he does that on location in Australia, which, if you're not from Australia, you'd be like, wow, that's really hot. He lives in Tasmania, which is really cold, and you can be wearing jumpers. I think they got snow on Christmas Day a couple of years ago. Like, it can get really cold. And again, if you're in Northern Hemisphere, snow on Christmas Day is not very unusual. If you're in Australia, when it's heat waves and Christmas is usually barbecues and swimming in a pool, snow on Christmas Day is very unusual. So, it gets cold. He's got a lambskin vest, I think, that is very warm, which will keep him warm in the cold weather. But he said if he could get a neck, Moby neck, to kind of cover his neck and cover this area that may or may not be covered by his lamb wool, whatever, that would be great. So I had a look in my stash to see if I had any yarn for this. I made this for my husband last year, I believe, and I used Clec Heaton. Hang on, I can tell you exactly what I used. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. All right, so I made this for my husband last year, and I finished the whole thing in 11 days, which surprises me that I did it that quickly. It is 211 grams of yarn. It is a cable pattern. And I used Clay Keaton Midlands Merino 8-ply, number 8816, which is beautiful, it's soft, delightful to use, delightful to wear. I have a cardigan out of that. He has this Moby neck out of the same yarn. It's a DK weight yarn. I looked at the pattern. The pattern is designed for fingering held double, but you can also use DK weight, obviously. So I was tossing up back and forth between what to do for my dad, because he wants it for warmth specifically, and I could do like I went through different ideas. I have scrap yarn, so I was like, I could do scrap fingering held with a consistent mohair, and I knew that I didn't have enough mohair to do that, so I'd have to buy mohair for that. I could do a DK weight yarn, but all the DK weight yarns I had, I did not have enough. This, I used 211 grams for my husband. I'll do the same size one for my dad, and I did not have enough DK weight that wasn't already being used in a project or set aside for a specific project. Oh, I just thought of the perfect thing. Oh, that's all right. If he needs another one, I'll do that. I just realized I do have extra yarn from another project that I haven't started the project, but I'm sure I'm not going to use all of this particular yarn, and I could have done that. Oh well, next time. What I did last night is I ordered yarn for it. And Dad, if you're listening, block your ears for a second. I got a mohair that's like a rusty orangey brownie colour, and I got a fingering weight 100% wool, which is a colour changing one. So you have, I think it'll end up kind of self-striping. You have long sections of one colour and then the next and then the next. And I thought that would be really cool. So he'll have like kind of gradient things, not gradient stripes maybe, but with the same mohair held throughout. I think it'll be beautiful. I'm definitely going to have fun knitting it, and it will be warm. It's not mohair actually, it's a real alpaca that I've bought. It's going to be very warm, delightful to wear, really fun to knit. I'm very excited about it. So that is on its way, and I'm hoping that it gets here before the knit along starts, because I would love to have this as one of my first projects. I know that I'm going to make it. I know that I need to make it by Christmas, and my parents are visiting at the end of August. So I would love to have this started and finished and wrapped so that they can take it home with them. And I don't really want to knit it in front of him, because I could. He watches my podcast and all of that, but I'd rather do that in secret as much as I can. Hi Dad, you can come back now. So that's the Moby neck. I also have a request. My niece and nephews want mittens. They live in Australia, but they also live in part of Australia where you can be wearing sweaters on Christmas, which again is not normal for all of Australia. They live not on the coast, they live a little bit further inland, and they get snow in winter sometimes, and it gets cold sometimes in summer. So those kids have requested mittens. Now, mittens are pretty quick. My sister is a knitter, but when we were talking about it, my mum was like, well, you could just knit them. That sounds like an Arnie thing to do. And I was like, can totally be an Arnie thing to do. So I'm going to knit them mittens. And I don't know if I'm going to knit them mittens for Christmas or if I'll knit them mittens for their birthday, because I also have planned to make them crochet blankets for their birthdays. And they are going to take a lot longer. So I'm tossing up. The crochet blanket is on my crochet list for this knit along, and I did not bring it with me because it is a nightmare to get out. I have worked on it once since I last showed you, and on the regular podcast, and I've done about that much of one row because I was so tired. And again, I was checking the pattern so much, I was like, this is not the right night to do this project. So I haven't touched it again since then. It's getting warmer. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to work on the blanket in summer because it does fill my lap with yarn and wool, or acrylic because that's an acrylic blanket. Anyway, that's on my list. So I'm like, I'm not sure whether I'll do that for that nephew for Christmas and then see if I can get the other two, their blankets done for their birthdays, which are in April and March. No, April and May. Or if I'll do mittens for all of them for Christmas and give them all blankets for next year, or whether I'll do blanket and then mittens for birthdays. I don't know. Anyway, they're going to be gifts. They're going to come out at some point. So I thought I'll add them to this. I'm probably going to do the World's Simplest Mittens again, which is a Tin Can Knits pattern. I've made them for my kids. They're great. The thumbs are on the side. They're not kind of at the front, but the kids don't care. I have fingerless mitts where the thumb gusset is kind of centered on the front, and I find that really comfortable for like driving and stuff. But again, for mittens for the kids, for like snow or just walking to school or whatever, riding bikes, it doesn't matter. They're not going to care. And it's a very simple pattern. However, I'm debating doing some kind of pattern within that. So I have, for my niece, I have this yarn, which was given to me actually. Someone from my church in Australia, maybe? Church here. Someone gave me this yarn. It is 4 seasons, which means it's from Spotlight Australia, pure wool, printed, 8-ply, 100% Australian wool, 50 grams. This should be enough for a pair of mittens for my niece. But I'm thinking I might do some little somethings with this. Maybe even on the bean and olive, there are just these really cute little hearts. So I thought maybe I'll do some little hearts, maybe around here on the mitten. So like do the rib, do a round of hearts, do the thing, maybe do another round of hearts at the other end. Not really sure, but I thought that's a really, really, really simple little pattern to add in and could be a really cute thing. So I'll have to do, look at stitch counts and pattern repeats and things, but I think that'll be okay. Then for my nephew, for nephew number 1, I thought I'd do the same but with this. This is also luxury 8-ply, but the colourway I think is aqua. I can't remember, and I don't have a tag with it. I've done so many things with luxury 8-ply. I think this was left over from a baby blanket that I made a few years ago, that I started like 6 years ago and finished a few years ago. So anyway, I'll do that. And again, I might see if I can find some colour work, even if it's just like little plus signs or something, to add into that one. And then the other one, I have these. So I need to double check with my sister. I think one of my nephew's favourite colours is blue or red, and the other one is green. But the one whose favourite is blue or red also loves pastels. Anyway, I thought what I'd do is for the one who's, the older one is this, and then the younger one who really likes green, I didn't have much green, but I did have this much. And so I've pulled a few yarns that are the same type as that, and then this blue is the same as the white, and I thought I would hold that double and either do stripes or maybe I would just do a, like I might just stripe, do a fade or something. And then the question is, do I do some colour work as well, or do I just make them stripy? So yeah, that is mitten pair number 3. So they shouldn't take long. The last pair I made for my son, which is he is younger than my youngest nephew, I did, was just under 50 grams. So DK weight, under 50 grams, they're pretty quick. Very excited for that. The next thing that is knitting and not socks is my Kookaburra sweater, which I have shown on the podcast a few times recently because I am actively working on it, but I will show you here. This is a sweater. The pattern is by Marzena Kowalczyk, who is a Polish designer, and this is what I have done. I started it in January, beginning of January, and my plan is to make it a Christmas present, but I may end up giving it early. We'll see how much jumpers are needed. But I'm going to keep this in my gift along because it will be a gift. It's for my husband. And like I said, if it ends up being Christmas, great. If it ends up being an early Christmas, that's okay. And it's still a gift, so it still counts. That one, I think I have 8 inches-ish on the body to go, and then the 2 sleeves. So not much. It is in my easy knitting slot at the moment. Definitely will not finish it by the end of June, but by the end of August is a real possibility. And then the last jumper, or at least the last knitting project that I have planned as a Christmas present, is using Drops Air. This is a medium thick blue yarn made of baby alpaca and merino wool, colour 8 and colour 1. So it is 65% alpaca, 28% polyamide and 7% wool. So colour 8 and colour 1. And this will make a unicorn sweater for my daughter. As I'm saying this, I've realised that I actually have 3 other sweaters that I would like to knit for Christmas. Yeah, I'm not going to include them here. We'll stick with what I got, but if I cast them on, I will talk about them. But yeah, so this is Drops Air. The pattern I cannot remember, but it is a unicorn and it is a intarsia style. So you knit and then I think you twist so you have no colour work floats or anything across the unicorn, which is in the white, and then the rest of it is in the pink. And it's just, I think, a unicorn head that comes out. I'm not sure what I'm using for the horn. And then you tie yarn, loose yarn in for the mane. Very, very cute pattern. I think in the pattern it's grey with white and then like pink hair. I'm doing pink and white, and I'll probably do rainbow hair. But yeah, that's for my daughter. And I was talking to Ange from Yarn and Yarns on one of her, in a YouTube chat from one of her ones. And she's doing a tea with intarsia for our tea knit along that just finished when you're watching this. And I was like, I'm still nervous about doing intarsia. But then I remembered this pattern and that it's a Christmas present. And I was like, what a great time to give that a go. So I'm going to be learning a new skill with this one. And hopefully that doesn't take a huge amount of time to pick up. All right. That is all my knitting plans. But like I said, this is a gift along, not a knit along. So crochet, sewing, cross stitch, other crafty things also count. So I have some other gifts that are sewing related that I am planning to make. The first one, my mum has requested a project bag and a bag for her cross stitch so that she can travel around with it easily. So I have both of them on my list. I haven't decided colours or anything, but they're there. I'm doing a wedding quilt, which I know is not Christmas, but it is a gift, and I am working on it, and I'm going to keep working on it because I would love to get that sent this year. So by Christmas is kind of when I would love to have that gift with the people who got married a year ago. I am working on a couple of secret projects that are sewing that I'm not even going to mention here, because if someone accidentally hears it, then I'm in trouble because they're not from me. So I am doing a couple of secret projects that I can't tell you about except to say that I'm working on them. And I want to make matching pajamas for me and my family for Christmas. So I have some fabric that I bought a while ago, and I keep wanting to make pajamas for Father's Day, and I just never get around to it. And I also love the idea of new pajamas for like Christmas when we set up our tree on the 1st of December. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make matching pajamas for Christmas. Really, it just means I need to make 4 pairs of pajama pants, which are really easy. And I think I'll probably just buy like a plain top, like a t-shirt to go with them, because that's what we all wear to bed. Like, we don't need, maybe the kids I could make tops out of the flannel, but me and my husband, we don't wear flannel tops to bed. So that is my plan for that one. That is 4 things out of my sewing. And then I also have some more project bags that I'm planning to make, which I'm not going to go into more detail. I have yarn. I have fabric for that on its way from America, but hopefully that will arrive soon and I can get them started. So that is sewing, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15 things. I'm not sure if I counted. There is a group of them that I've listed as one, but it is multiples, and so when I say 15, that's counting as that separately. but when I did my total add up, I think I counted them together. So we'll see. But let's say 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. We'll say 10, knowing that one of them is a multiple parter. All right, I've got cross crochet, which is my son. No, my son. The blanket for my nephew. And then Christmas, I've got the Midden Advent, which I've already mentioned. And I have this for my father-in-law. So I said I've got cross stitch here. This is what I have. Father-in-law, turn it off if you're watching. I've bought this pattern to make for my father-in-law. So yes, he loves squirrels. I thought that was really cute. And he is hard to buy for. He does like hand knit socks, but his birthday, Father's Day and Christmas are all within a few months. So I thought that would be a nice thing. So he's not just getting socks. Yeah, I haven't started it. It'll be fun, but yes, I haven't started it, and cross stitch takes a while, so I'm going to be working on that. Now I'm going to say, if you are a family member, turn this off now, because the next one that I have to show you, which I have saved for last, is for a family member. So really, 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 if you are a family member, a sister, a mother, a mother-in-law, a father-in-law, a brother, anyone in my family, please turn this off, because I don't want you to know it's you, but turn it off. All right, warning, was that clear? All right, for all of you who are not related to me who are still here, hi. I do have matching this one for my father-in-law, this one for my mother-in-law. My father-in-law loves squirrels, my mother-in-law loves foxes, and so I thought that would be a really cute set to put up in their house. Yeah, so I theoretically am knitting 2 cross stitches for Christmas. And then this last one is for my sister. So if you really, really haven't turned this off yet, Mel, turn this off now. This one I've been working on for a long time, and I haven't shown her that I'm working on it. So I really, really, really don't want this to spoil it for you, Mel. Turn it off. But I've been working on this for a while, and I want to get this done for Christmas. So this is where I'm up to. It is a Gilmore Girls cross stitch. I have not found it. It's by stitch area, and I've looked on her Etsy and I haven't found this pattern again since I bought it. So I don't know if you can still get it, but it is, yeah, Gilmore Girls themed, and I'd say at least 25, maybe 30% of the way there. I've got a little bit more to add down here, and then this entire quarter will be done. And I've got a little bit more that kind of goes down here and then up here, and then obviously at the top I have quite a bit to do. So I've been working on this for quite a few years now, and I just pick it up and work on it for a bit and then put it away. But I really want to get this done for Christmas this year. So I'm picking it out and putting it in the make along so that I actually focus on it and can hopefully get it done. And then when it's done, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it into a wall hanging or into a project bag or something that she might use a little more than something on her wall. I haven't decided that yet. But that is everything. That is all the things that I am planning to make for Christmas, which, let's see, that's 35 things that I've written down. I have just remembered a 36th thing, which is I'm thinking of making a granny square bag for my niece, who, not the ones I'm making the mittens for, my husband's niece. Yeah, I've seen a few, I think she'd like it, or possibly a granny square cardigan, which when you're making clothes for a teenager, it's always a little bit more hesitant, but I think she would enjoy it. I think that's her kind of style. And it's really, like, crochet is not a fast fashion thing because crochet is always handmade. And so if she wants that kind of style, having it handmade by me is better than buying it off a website. So I'm thinking of doing that. The bag is the safer. I'm pretty confident she would use the bag. The jacket is, like a cropped cardigan, is a little bit more risky, but I found a few that are really cute, and I think for a 17-year-old girl, she would really like them. So I'm going to have a think about them, but definitely that would be really, really fun. I love granny squares. I love making them. I love all the things. And I have found patterns for both of them in a magazine and on Ravelry. There are lots and lots of free patterns for granny square jackets and granny square bags, and there are some paid for patterns as well. So I haven't chosen one, but that's kind of on my mind. So that's 36 things. There are, 61 days 62 days, because July and August are both 31 days. So 62 days. That is still more than one every 2 days. So we know that I'm not going to do them all, because that is a lot of things. There are some things that I can automatically do, like I am in the process of some things. I know that the jumper that I'm doing for my husband is easy knitting. That one will knit itself in polish classes, and when I don't have brain power to do something, I can pick that one up. What I need to do for the things that are more complicated is I need to work on them enough that they become simple. So I picked up one of these projects this morning and worked on that for a while, and it moved it out of a trouble area into a I can now do this a bit more simply area. Some of the things like vanilla socks, super easy. I will do them in all sorts of situations. That's not an issue, but I do need to get them started, and I don't have. So what I need to do is I need to find needles for vanilla socks, and I need to list which socks are going to be vanilla so I can work on them and just kind of finish one, pick up the next, finish one, pick up the next. And that can be kind of one path of my knitting. Patterned things that I need to focus on, like the Moby neck, even the mittens, they are easy, but because they're so small, you actually don't have much, just vanilla knitting. So those things, like, they're easy tasks. I can tick them off pretty quickly. So I'll put them in. Things like the unicorn jumper, the Moby neck, will take a bit more focus to start to get into the patterns, things like that. So I think I'll have like my vanilla knitting path, my simple, quick, get it ticked off path, and my takes a bit more effort, get your head into it, figure it out path. If I have those three, then I think I can just kind of work through. And a little bit, I'll be like, I want to work with this yarn, I don't want to work with that yarn, but I think I can kind of tick them off. When it comes to sewing, I actually do quite a bit of sewing. Now that I've got, like, this is my sewing area. And I've been doing quite a bit recently, particularly when the kids are going to bed. So if I have my list up here, I might even put it on the wall or something of what sewing things I want to get done. I think as I'm up here putting the kids to bed, I have 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, I will naturally work on those things. I don't tend to knit upstairs as much. Not sure why. I think when I knit upstairs, I look around, I'm like, I really just need to clean up the room because this is the kids' playroom. If I'm sewing up here, I don't kind of have the same feeling because I'm standing, not sitting. So I feel like I'm already doing something. I don't know. But I think I'll do that. I'll put a list up here of the sewing things that I want to get done, and I'll just work through them. And when I'm up here and I'm like, I've got 20 minutes, I can make that decision of, am I going to spend that time doing this project and figuring out like the pattern or whatever, or this project, picking the fabric or ironing. I'll work on it that way. For cross stitch, that one's a little trickier. I don't have a place in my house where I just always cross stitch. I could move that to my room and have that be a cross stitching place. I think what I'll probably do is when I go out for coffee, take a cross stitch pattern and do that in a quiet place by myself. Yeah, that may work for that one. And also some evenings I could do some cross stitch. That's not going to be enough to do the cross stitching that I want to get done for Christmas, but I think that's a good way to start. And once I've got that in my mind, or even I might put cross stitch into my 30 minutes of crafting slot, because that one, it's not quick progress. You don't see the progress instantly, but if I try and do 30 minutes a day, then that will add up and I'll see if I can get them done. All right, that's what I'm going to do. 30 minutes a day on cross stitch, and I'll figure out a way to make that work. And then the other ones, I'll have my easy, my quicken, my easy vanilla, my quick knits, and my concentrate knits. Sewing up here, cross stitch 30 minutes a day. All right. Disclaimer, I'm not going to get all 36 projects done. I understand that right now, that in a 2-month make along, that is not going to happen. But hopefully by having it spread out in those different categories, I'll be able to make some progress, get through it. And I'm really excited to see at the end of the time how many of those I can tick off. So I have, I'll flick this up. I have done lists and I've got little check boxes next to them. I need to add the one for my niece, the crochet project for my niece. But if I can work through them, then that will, yeah, it'll be a really nice little, have I finished the things that I plan to finish at the end. So 36 projects. I am interested, how many you think I'm going to get done in this 2-month gift along? Christmas and July-ish gift along. How many do you think of the 36 I will finish in the next 2 months? Make your guess now. Maybe I'll do a special prize drawing for whoever gets the closest. That would be fun. How many do you think? I actually have no idea. I'm interested. What do you reckon? Also, if you have ideas for yourself, what you would like to work on, gift, Christmas, whatever it is, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. I don't know if I mentioned here, I did on my podcast, Advents also count. If you have an Advent that you're working on and it's not a gift and it's not Christmas themed, but it was an Advent, come join in the fun. Yeah, what are you thinking of working on? Do you make gifts? Is gift knitting something that you're like, no, I never make them, I always buy them, why would I make them? I'm interested, let me know. I am going to sign off now. Have a great, great, great day. I hope you are inspired to make something, that you've had fun just joining me here, and I will see you next time for a regular podcast. Bye.